job. Women are getting beaten, women are getting maimed, women are getting killed because the men in their lives believe that it is the woman who should do the cooking in the home. I told you about a woman in Kenya who went for a burial. She was there all day. When she came home, her husband was angry that she did not cook before leaving for the burial. And so her husband cut off her hand with a knife. I also told you about a woman in Chicago who was murdered by her husband. Husband killed her sister, killed her mother because she did not cook breakfast. Husband came and told her to cook in the morning, and she said that she was feeling sick and so she cannot cook. Then he started punching her. He beat her so badly, she called her sister and her mother. When they came over, he was still beating her. And so they called 911. When they were dialing 911, the man brought out his gun and killed 3 of them. Because she refused to cook breakfast. In River State, I told you as well about a man named Sokari West. When it was his wife's birthday, she said she wanted to go out and celebrate with friends. He told her, cook before you go. She said, baby, it's my birthday. I don't feel like cooking today. I want to relax. I want to feel like a baby girl. My friends are taking me out. So she went out. And when she came back home, he attacked her. He beat her. He stabbed her to death. And it led, these stories I told you led to quite a vigorous conversation last week where I kept asking you, who should do the cooking? What is the reason that some men do things as ridiculous, as unthinkable as beating their women when they don't cook, as injuring their women when they don't cook, as killing their women when they don't cook? I asked that question last week. And here are some of the answers that we got. Benga in Lekki, welcome.
Yes, all right. Good evening. How are you doing today?
Good. You've got 2 minutes.
Yeah. Number one, I will start my view on this point. In life, one should be deliberate and be intentional. For me, in my house, I cook very well. I'm a man. I've been married for the past 16 years.
Okay.
So I take time to cook, and now you deprive the family of the opportunity to cook good food from a man that knows how to cook, that had the recipes of all good delicacies. So it is not the responsibility of the woman to cook. Either can cook, the man can cook, and the wife can cook. All you just have to do is to be happy. Define it. So the case of the man that killed the wife just because he didn't cook for him, is out of this world. It's inhuman. And you will go back again to go and pick another woman into the house. So what happened if that one refused to cook again? You kill that person. You kill it. You kill. I think the judicial should take course in that angle, in that line. And marriage is an institution to be enjoyed. And cooking is just part of the benefit there. So the man can cook, the woman can also cook. So it is never the responsibility. You can't. I'm a faith-based person.
Okay.
If you go into the Bible, you can't find a place there where they say it's the responsibility of the man to cook or it's the responsibility of the woman to cook. The man can provide for the house. The woman can as well do the same. So if I'm a professional and I know and I work and I have the ability to engage the service of people that can do all this for me, will you now say because my wife is not available, I should not eat? So I should be able to engage the service of a professional who it could be a man and it could be a woman.
Hello, Rafiat.
Hello, Sandra.
Good to have you on the show.
Yeah, sorry, I've been laughing. Oh, my God. See, the reason why some men go mad and crazy when they say a woman should cook and she refuses to cook is because of the need to control and the superiority complex they've been infused in.
Okay.
Some men see kitchen as below, not above. Why should I be the one cutting onions and putting tomatoes? Like, no, you have to do that for me because that's what they've told you all your life. Mother cooks in the kitchen, father goes to work, kind of thing. And that's exactly what is ingrained in some men, and that's why you find some people telling you they feel like doing kitchen work is beneath them, like it's something that is above. And since the woman in their brain is the one who is beneath, who is the person who is down should be doing those kind of unsavory jobs. And that's exactly why you have those kind of situations. And let's not even lie. Some of our mothers kind of aided this thing because when we're growing up, you're being told, oh, you do not know how to learn how to cook. You're going to go to your husband's house. But nobody is actually looking at the boy child and say, won't you learn how to cook because you're going to go hungry if you don't learn that. Honestly, and I think that some people are lucky, or should I say are blessed. I don't know which one I'll use now, because I came from a house where my dad was cooking. Everybody was saying that my dad was in the kitchen doing all the things. My dad cooks way better than my mom. It's not a secret.
My dad too. My dad's a better cook than my mom.
But guess what? My younger brother came to my house the other day, and the poor guy was like, I'm hungry. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? Get up from my very nice bed and go and make food for you? And he makes this statement of, oh, but the kitchen belongs to the woman. I'm like, hunger will finish you. If that's the mentality that you think that your friends have kind of told you because you left the house for like 2 or 3 years, then hunger will finish you. Let me just tell you. So we need to start to let these men know that cooking is a life skill. Tradition is just peer pressure from old people.
My previous callers, oh my God, that's a good one. My previous caller says that the Bible says women should cook, but he only gave me one
Islam,
verse.
when it comes to the rights of women, because I don't know much about the Bible, I'm a Muslim.
Okay.
There is no cooking there. When it comes to the husband rights over his wife, the wife's rights. When it comes to husband's rights, there's no cooking said. There is no cooking inside. And even in lots of history books and hadiths that we've read, the Prophet was very hands-on. He did every job that everybody in the house was doing. Normal housework that everybody is doing. Dear men, you don't learn how to cook. 21st century men, nobody has time to do that. I'm hiring a chef when I get enough money. So better learn how to cook for yourself.
Good afternoon.
Tell me why you think the woman should cook.
From the days of the Bible, the woman has been cooking.
It's in the Bible that the women cooked?
Yes.
Where in the Bible?
Make your research.
No, you're the one who is asserting, so it's up to you to prove it. Where in the Bible?
Jeremiah 7, you will see it there.
Jeremiah 7 verse what?
Jeremiah 7, you will see just...
Jeremiah, I'm in front of Google right now. Jeremiah 7 verse what?
Read it down, you will see it. Let me make my point fast, please.
Okay,
The woman should cook, because if the recent word is telling the man to cook, or anybody can cook, that means they should change the culture or the tradition so that women can start paying the bride price as well.
Yeah, for me, the woman should cook. For African men, the reason why I'm saying this is I'm taking it from the historical and let me just say from the historical perspective. Naturally in Africa or Nigeria, men are not actually close to the kitchen. Women are more closer to the kitchen. Men are more into the physical and the outside world stuff, while the women are more into the indoor world stuff. Why it's like that, I don't know. Is it supposed to be like that? No. Has it changed? Yes, it's changing a little. It's changing gradually, and I hope that it changes, that it becomes a situation where everybody can cook. So, looking at myself, being brought up in such an environment where I only see women in the kitchen, I hardly see men. So I will not get married and say that I want to be doing the cooking while my wife will be sitting down. Of course, she should do the cooking.
Okay.
I can help.
And these were the people who called me last week, and we had quite the debate about cooking. I wonder what you think about their answers. I wonder where you stand. I wonder what you think. 0700-993-993-993. 0700-993-993-993. We've got WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. We've got a message from Ofonime. Ofonime says, Please, in the ancient days, women were married off with maids, a lot of maids. She will give instructions to her maids and she monitors that everything is perfect for the home. Nowadays, men expect their wives to cook, do all the chores, cater for kids, deliver their bedroom duties. These are not right. If the men want to use the old Bible method, let them surround the wives with maids. And if they cannot afford maids, let them be ready to help. My dad cooks. My lovely husband cooks when he can. We've got Akigbe in Festac on the line. Akigbe, welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon.
In regards to the topic, the Bible made it plain that the women are to help the men. So the type of help God expected to give them, it should be the domestic work. You can't expect somebody who have been driving since morning, have clothes from driving now, have carrying passenger up and down, come back and enter the kitchen again. So that is where the help of cooking in the kitchen and giving him the food to nourish his body that have been using since morning is necessary.
What if,
for instance,
what if Akigbe, the way you're driving, your wife is also in the market selling, and she's in the market from morning till night selling, and you both come home at the same time?
The women should know their onion. You know that you are a woman, and your husband go outside to work. Not all women go to market to sell anyway, and not all women go to office work like you are doing there. So, and in that case, it is left for you and your husband to iron out the hard work that is on you. But as regard to cooking, the women are the one God gave techniques on how to cook. We are the one that teach men who are caterers on how to cook. Right for the generation, even China, is the women that they make it a school of catering that men can engage in it. Like the one Maggi company did that time, it was a man that won the prize. I had the children take from the mother. So God gave gifts to the women as regard to technicality on how to cook. And because you are going somewhere, and your husband says, "Feed me food before you go," it will not take 30 minutes. So, but the husband can take bread and tea, but that may not be what he wants. And then the cooking of that food, women are always have to have a large quantity of stew and soup at home with the modern freezer. So the man would have just go in there and then take any of the container and dewarm it and then make a bar by himself. But for him to go to market, to come and cook and start eating, it will be strenuous for him. So we should consider life, and the man is the head, and that headship should be honored. But if the man decides to cook on his own, it's okay. But as regards to giving food in the home, it is expected of the women to do it to their children, to their husband, and whoever come in as a visitor. It's not every time the visitor come, you run to the market. Every time will they eat the food? You should know how to keep the house in readiness to feed those who believe that they must always be on the food. Thank you.
All right, Akigbe, thank you very much. This is reminding me of that conversation we had yesterday between 5 and 6, the pressure on men to provide. Remember, I gave you the example of cooking and how cooking as a life skill is taught to men and women very differently. See that call that I just received right now? Compare it to what men are told about providing for their family. If you missed that conversation we had yesterday, it was very, very good. I recommend that you go and listen again on our podcast, Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili. Cletus is on the line. Hello, Cletus. Welcome.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Auntie Sandra, good afternoon.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Yes. Sandra, it's a high time that we do away with all these traditions. It's either these traditions kill us or we kill it.
Okay.
Auntie Sandra, I started cooking. In fact, I and my wife will drag who will cook in the this. I was forced to go and marry because I cooked and extent my church said, go and marry, otherwise we will marry and come and give it the wife in the house.
Okay.
I'm just telling you the truth. I will give you my church now. You go and investigate and know.
Okay.
They said if I don't go and marry, they will marry anybody they see. They give me as wife. And which, in fact, I quickly go and get married. Up to today, my wife is cooking and cooking. In fact, I cook more than her. Because it was in me, right from day one. So how come until we let all these cultures, tomorrow somebody will come, you must cook fresh food today, you cook one chicken, you finish it, tomorrow you cook a woman, some of us.
Oh no. Cletus, call back, okay? I'm curious. I wanted to ask Cletus a lot of questions. The number to call is 0700-993-993-993. 0700-993-993-993. There's a WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. 080-959-75805. That's for WhatsApp. Let's see who else is calling us today. Who is this person? All right, that call couldn't stay. But let me go to WhatsApp. Hi, Sandra. Only lazy women complain of cooking and house chores. This is Best P from Ojo. Best P. Let me see Best P's face while he's saying that thing. Oh, his face is not even there. All right. Best P from Ojo. Thank you for sending that message in. Hello, President Sandra. If you love your wife, you will not kill her because of not cooking. Come to First Stack, you will see husband and wife coming to carry pot of soup in an eatery, already paid for. All right. Thank you for sending your message in. We appreciate it. We've got more messages here. Sandra, cooking is a life skill, so everyone should know how to cook. But the reason why women have been cooking is because the men do the more physical work because they're stronger. I am unmarried and I will get a wife for companionship, not for cooking. My wife would likely be doing the cooking when I'm away at work. My name is Mike from Agbara. Mike, thank you for sending your message in. But like I said yesterday when we were talking about the pressure on men to provide money, provide for the family, they're not even doing physical work anymore. Like the work I'm doing in the studio right now, it's not physical work. It's mental work. It's knowledge work. We're now in a knowledge-based world. And in the knowledge-based world, now who they intelligent pass, 90 survive. Now who get sense pass, now who get brain pass, now who feed they creative pass, 90 survive. No be who feed carry hoe and hammer or carry cutlass or carry things like that. It's not about strength anymore. So your physical strength is irrelevant in today's world. So in a world where men and women are competing on the equal footing of intelligence, you have Sheriff Quadri in the morning, you have me in the afternoon. He's a man doing the same work I'm doing in the afternoon time. You cannot say that he's physically stronger. His physical strength does nothing for him that is different from what my physical strength is doing for me on hard facts. So, so some expectations that we used to have of women and of men, like we talked about yesterday, with providing financially, do you not see that they're now irrelevant? Do we not see that? So, if we're expecting men provide no matter what, and we're saying to women cook no matter what, we're saying to these two people that they can't do the other person's work. And so you find a woman who feels like a failure on the days that she cannot cook, or you find a man who feels like a failure the days that he cannot provide. And we think of these things as small things, but they're not small things because, like I said, on the one hand, when the woman doesn't cook, her husband beats her husband injures her husband kills her. The men, when they cannot provide, have women who tell them, you're useless. The Bible says you're an infidel. And you have the men who commit suicide because they cannot provide. All of these things are from the same cup. Daniel is in Surulere. He's on the line. Hello, Daniel. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Okay, let me start by saying that something very funny. But the whole world will have today, or whatever.
Daniel?
So the whole problems we have in the world today basically started by disorderliness.
Okay.
Now, I believe orderliness should be in the family. So rules to be defined. Now, I'm not saying men should not know how to cook or men should beat up their wife because their wife can't cook. But I'm saying, primarily, it is the woman that determines that. In fact, when it comes to language, we call language mother tongue. Being a wife has a lot of role. You determine the language your children speak. You will determine the kind of food your family consume. And you also determine the way the home will look like. Anything.
Oh no. Please call back if you can. I'm really curious where that was going. I wanted to hear all of it. Thank you so much for calling us, though. If you just joined the show, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. And we're talking about why cooking is such a big deal that some men will do things as ridiculous as killing, as beating, as injuring their wives. I gave you 3 stories. 3. One from Kenya, one from Chicago in America, one from River State, Nigeria. And 3 of those stories have one man cutting off his wife's hand because she did not cook before going for burial. Another man killing his wife, his sister-in-law, his mother-in-law because she did not make him breakfast because she was feeling sick. And another story of a man stabbing his wife to death because she did not cook before going to hang out with her friends on her birthday. Cooking, a life skill. A life skill, cooking. Why is it such a contentious subject? Cooking. Cooking where anybody fit do. Why is it such a contentious subject? Now, some people have said, let's not push dysfunction. Let's not make things that are not supposed to be become the order of the day. And to counter that, Temitokwe sent me a message. Temitokwe from Ipaja. And he sent that message to defend the Bible position on who is to cook. And he says that there's nowhere in the Bible that it says that a woman should be the cook. Abraham, that we all respect as the father of faith by all religious groups, when he was visited by angels in the Bible in Genesis chapter 18, verses 3 to 8, personally prepared butter, milk, and young bull and served his guests. Likewise, his nephew, Lot, in Genesis chapter 19, verse 3. Granted, women are referred to as homemakers in the Bible, but under the supervision of her husband. Titus chapter 2, verse 5. So how can a man supervise what he is not doing himself? Compare 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8, about why some men beat and injure and even kill their spouse for whatever reason. The Bible says it is animalistic. All right. Bible never condones or approves brutality for women. Lagos, let's take a break. We'll continue this conversation in a bit.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this? I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry and give Shade yesterday.
And this space roaming. I know that. I will recommend them any day.
Visit reliancehmo.com/corporate or call 0700-7354-2623 to get a quote for your company and start to enjoy reliable healthcare today. Reliance HMO. You can rely on us.
Are you a young Nigerian resident in Lagos between ages 18 and 35 with innovative and sustainable solutions to COVID-19? Is your business targeting a sustainable development goal, and does it have significant economic impact, particularly in the circular economy, agribusiness, health, education, and creative sectors? Application is now open for the Orange Corners Nigeria Business Incubation Program, funded by the Netherlands Enterprise Agency and implemented by Fate Foundation. The program supports 20 entrepreneurs with enterprise training, advisory and business incubation services, mentoring and funding in a 6-month incubation program to develop innovative ideas into viable business models. To apply, visit www.orangecorners.com/Nigeria.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this, eh? I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry and give Shade yesterday, but you know they use them again now.
Yay! You don't carry my bonus give landlord picking. Now today you go pack out.
On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so if you don't reach 15 days where you never use your Airtel SIM, go find them now. Because why? Obonga will full on top of. Hey, get 2,000 naira airtime plus extra 200 MB for just 200 naira. The more you recharge, the more you are woofo. To begin enjoy this awoof, just dial *241*7#. Terms and conditions, Joe.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
I won't tell you the secret of better food. Now the new no chicken and classic seasoning powder. The ingredient they take make am na natural by nature, like real chicken, rosemary, black and white pepper, garlic, onion, parsley, mushroom, coriander, and plenty more. If you knack new no seasoning powder for inside your jollof, fried rice, egusi, and all other soup, you go know say flavor pass flavor. New no seasoning powder. Natural by ingredients, bangba by flavor.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
This is the glass ceiling on Hard Facts.
We've got lots of messages on WhatsApp. Here's another one from Mr. T. And Mr. T says, Sandra, I'll not only cook for my wife, I'll make her hair, make my daughter's hair, wash their clothes, be a father and a husband, not a lord over them. I do both very perfectly. Cooking for me is like a hobby. I love to cook. I learned from my mom because growing up, when my mates were playing football, I was assisting my mom in the kitchen because my sisters were still young. Mr. T, thank you for your message. Cooking is a pleasure for me, somebody else says on WhatsApp. So sometimes I ask my wife to relax and I do the cooking. And that's how I train my male children and they're better for it. Suraju Olubiyo in Surulere sent that message in. Suraju, thanks for your message. Sandra, my president, you know, before every cooking, there is money for the cooking. So my question is, whose responsibility is it to always provide money for cooking in the house? Always. Another question for my president is, can you gladly and boldly be the one providing for your family in every way, while the man stays at home and cook and serves both you and your visitors? Ororo from Ayobo is asking. But you see, that's also another interesting dimension. Because, Ororo, in a lot of homes in Nigeria right now, you have women who are actually the ones doing both. You have women who are the ones providing for the family because the husband cannot provide at the moment. And while they're providing, the husband is still not doing anything at home. He's not doing chores, he's not cooking, he's not minding the children. So the woman goes out, brings money home, and still comes home to take care of the children, take care of the house, cook the meal for the house. It's happening in a lot of homes. You probably are listening to me, and it's happening in your home. So it's already happening. And in some homes, the husbands are actually already minding the children, doing the chores, and it's not a big deal. In some homes, even when the husbands are minding the children, cleaning the house, doing the cooking, and the wife is the one going out and making money and coming home, the wife is being very, very mean-spirited about it and telling the husband all kinds of terrible things. Do you know why? Because as a society, we've also raised men. The opposite coin, the other side of the coin of cooking, is men must provide for the cooking. So imagine that we raised our children, our sons and daughters, that anybody can provide for the family. Anybody can cook in the family. Anybody who can do it should do it. The woman wouldn't have the mindset of, this work I'm working, I shouldn't be doing it. It's my husband that should be providing for the family. She would just see it as, I'm the one who can provide right now. So there's nowhere that it will come out of her mouth as, oh, you're a useless man. You're not a man because you can't provide. Because she has already been raised that anybody who can provide should provide. So do you see how whatever we're sowing is what we're reaping? Anything that we want as the culture that is acceptable comes back to bite us in the bum bum. Things like cooking, things like providing for the family. We talked about it yesterday on the Big Hard Fact between 5 and 6. If you missed that conversation, we had a very real conversation yesterday between 5 and 6 about the pressure on men to provide. And I recommend that you find that episode. It's available as a podcast. So search for Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili and listen to yesterday's 5 o'clock hour. Listen again. Listen to the real conversation we had. And you heard men say, I wish that when we were being raised, men were not often told, you have to provide. And by the time we were done, people could see how it comes from this same cup of, oh, now woman supposed cook. But let me go back to other messages we have on WhatsApp. President Sandra, Happy New Year. I love your show. Nice topic. As for me, anybody can cook. I'm married. I cook. My wife does most of the cooking. Anybody can cook, be it the man or the woman. Okuwe Emmanuel in Ikotun says. Good afternoon, Sandra. That story of Abraham isn't true. He actually instructed Sarah first, then gave instructions to the servant as well. I don't support the archaic practice of allowing wives be the cook rather than companions. Olumide from Ikorodu says. Olumide, thank you for your message. Ezine from Ogun State says, right from creation, God created man and woman to be helpmates. Helpmates to everything, not to some things. The cooking should be for both husband and wife. For Christ's sake, a woman should be left with all the house chores. Then what would the husband be doing? My sister and her husband have been married for 8 years, and the husband cooks for her when she doesn't have time or when she's tired. All right, let's see. Sandra, I've been trying to call in, but not yet. I want to correct the last message you read before going on break. Abraham was not the one who prepared the meal given to the angels who visited him. Only Lot did that. Okay, so even if Abraham did not do it, at least Lot did it. At least we have a man in the Bible cooking for angels. I mean, when you've cooked for angels, that's the highest visitor you can get now. Abby? Thanks for your message. Let's come back to the phone lines. 0700-993-993 993 0700 993 993 993. Why is cooking such a big deal? A big enough deal that women are getting beaten up if they don't do it. Women are getting killed if they don't do it. Women are getting injured if they don't do it. Toyosi is on the line. Toyosi, welcome. Thanks for calling us. Hi, Toyosi. Welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, about the question, I think what I noticed basically is that some men, they just choose to learn. Some men choose to learn because they just think that, let me just learn. Maybe if I'm hungry, instead of me going to buy food outside, let me just decide to learn. I think why some just decide that I don't really need to learn it. I think the thing should, I'm not saying that they should start forcing men to start cooking, but they should start putting this importance in them and something like insignificant like important. Because we women, we go through a lot. Sometimes we are pregnant, we are heavy. Sometimes we go through menstrual cycle. So if we're in that type of situation, are we going to still go to the kitchen to go and cook? Because I'm very, very confused. Are we still going to go to the kitchen to go and cook? So men to start having this passion and likeness to start to cook. And for me, I like men's food. And I like men that cook. And I like their food because I think that maybe I'm already getting too tired of eating women's food. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'm already getting too tired of eating women's food. When I was actually little, so we were living in an area that it was a rural area then, and there was a lot of bush. And mommy cannot leave me and my sister at home. That was in 2020. 13. So my mom cannot leave me and start at home to see that I'm sure she was afraid. So she do take us one of her friends, and that her friend, the woman is very, very busy. The woman is always busy most of the time. Always busy. She's not even always at home. So what the man will do is that if the man is at house, the children are much at home. What am I going to do? I think the man has learned the skills before. So the man will just go to the farm. He will cut some vegetables, and like Mommy Sandra, I'm very, very serious. Like the food is very, very. I can never ever in my life forget to say the food is very, so we should start like I don't know. Even what I also notice is that like religion are not also giving the civic that I'm not telling us like why is it important for men to cook. I'm not saying that both of you are joined together and that. But you also tell us that man should also learn how to cook because religion are not doing anything. As for me, what I notice is that religion are not doing anything on the matter of men to be cook. I'm saying that men, you are the head, you are this, you are that. No, that has to not be all. If they are going through counseling, they should also say that men, you need if you don't know how to cook, me, I can't marry you because me, I love man food. That is me. As for me, that is me. Mommy Sandra, that is me. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Take care,
Bye.
ma.
Thank you for calling. Bye. I like her. She said, if you cannot cook, I can't marry you because me, I like man food. Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good one. 0700 See, today I'm not quarreling with anybody. I'm not fighting. I'm not dragging. Just allowing you to make your point and I'll argue small if I see some arguments to be made. And I'll let you go. You know, if there's nothing to... there's not a point to be made. We've got Meek on the line. Meek, as in Meek Mill. Do we have Meek Mill on the line? Is that Meek Mill?
Sandra.
Are you Meek Mill?
Yeah. My name is not Meek Mill. My own is Milk Link.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to have you on the show. Go ahead.
For me, I love your topic so much. I'm this kind of person. I'm very young, but I admire when a woman cooks. Like, actually, I grew up in a home where women do the cooking the most, but I'm not emphasizing on the fact that cooking is women's responsibility because I have grown in a global world, I have grown in an advanced world, and I have learned so many things. And I myself am an advanced person. I know so many things, so I cannot say my wife should be cooking. But I had this mentality some few years back. I'm a young boy that loves eating at home. I don't like eating food prepared outside, or I don't like ordering food outside. I prefer why I wanted to marry early because I wanted my wife to be cooking for me.
Okay.
But getting it from people that cooking is not women's job. I come to understand that it's not women's responsibility. I can also do the cooking as well. But for me, that was what I thought at early age, that women are the ones that do the cooking most because of the environment I was brought up. And for now, I think I will not get married early because I want my wife to be cooking for me. I can also learn how to cook.
Okay.
So, and because of what I heard today, because for me, I had that idea, that mentality at an early age.
Okay.
I wanted to marry because I want my wife to be cooking for me because I don't like buying food outside.
Okay.
Because if I go outside, I don't like ordering food. If at home I'm home, I wait for my sister, I wait for my madam sister to come back home, my auntie sister to come back home and cook. They do the cooking the most at all times. So, thanks. That's my take.
Okay, Meek. Thank you for calling. I'm glad we've changed your mind. You know, this thing, like I said last week, these cases don't always end in death for women. They don't always end in permanent injury, but they start from somewhere. And some of some of the places that it starts from is what I would like us to talk about. What are the root causes in our society, in our beliefs that can make a man so angry about his wife not cooking? Where does that come from? Where does this idea come from that it's the wife's job to cook and not the husband, or not both of their jobs? Do you think that idea is still relevant today? When Akibe called earlier on, I asked him, what if your wife sells in the market? Both of you come back home after 6 or 7. You know how Lagos traffic can be. Sometimes she comes home after you, Seth. You both work outside, you both go out all day, you both come home tired, and yet it is still considered the wife's job to get food ready. If the woman or the man is a stay-at-home husband or stay-at-home wife, it's different. But if both of you go out to work, she went out just like you. She spends the same time in traffic jam. She's as exhausted as you are. But in your mind as man, this cooking now also your work. In fact, the work we go do for office. I have a friend. She's a big madam, like big CEO. And her husband doesn't eat food. They have like a retinue of maids in the house. And her husband refuses to eat food that the maids cook. She has to come home and cook. Now, of course, when she travels, when she's not in the States, he eats. So he eats what the maid cooks. But when she's around, oh no, he must eat the food that she makes. So when we now became friends, I started asking the man questions. Why do you do this? What is this about? Where does this come from? And he couldn't explain. But after we were friends for a while, he changed his ways. He started going into the kitchen. He learned how to cook. His wife stopped going into the kitchen every time she came home from work to cook. And then she now only cooks like on special occasions or when the husband is craving something. And the husband is excited to try new things in the kitchen now because there's YouTube. So I told him how to go to YouTube and go and learn how to cook. And he learned some very fancy things. And now he's trying new things for his wife in the kitchen. And they've never been happier. Every time she sees me, she say, Sandra, thank you, Sandra. Hey, I like you. I'm one of your star. You're my president. And I'll laugh. You know? But yeah, it doesn't always end like that. In some other families, the husband will probably chase me away and tell me I'm corrupting his wife. But yeah, where does that come from? Where does that come from? Where does it come from? That, it's her duty. She goes out to work. She's having meetings with these big executives. She's traveling all over the country, closing deals. But it's also still her job to come home and cook. In fact, I've heard some women who have either had to quit their jobs or they cannot perform well at work because they have to be home in time to make sure that they cook for their husband and their children. And I have to ask, with the way that modern life has changed, why are so many men still invested in this idea that their wives must cook for them? What would it take to make more men share the kitchen responsibilities? What would it take? Maybe I am privileged because I come from a home where anybody did the cooking. Like, what I mean by anybody is my mom or my dad did the cooking. Now, when I was being raised, though, my brothers were not taught how to cook. I was the only one who was taught how to cook. And now they're suffering for it because if there's no woman doing the cooking for them, they can't eat. Meanwhile, my father was a better cook than my mother. And my father did a lot of the cooking when my mom wasn't at home because my mom was a banker. So she would be at work for hours. And my dad would cook dinner because he would come home before her. And so that was the life that was modeled for me. That was normal. My husband does the same thing. Like, I'll go home now and there'll be food and I didn't cook it because my husband works from home. And so he will do the cooking. On the day that two of us don't have strength to cook, we'll order out. We'll eat, we'll order from. And when you say order, people think of big restaurants. But there's mama puts that you go out, give 150 to or 200. And you eat and everybody's happy. Why can't we adopt a more pragmatic approach to these things? What would it take to get more people to share kitchen responsibilities? 0700-993-993 993 0700 993 993 993. You can also share your thoughts with me via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. 080 959 755. Ayo is in transit. Hello, Ayo. Thanks for calling us.
Hi, kudos to the good job you do.
Thank you.
I actually know that kudos. Last question, yeah? So you cook at home. Initially, when we do that, you have to cook on the sheep life. I just have, yourself. I try to manage to cook after I'm tired from work. I will also cook. We'll go to a time I'll be like, oh, babe, this thing can't keep working like this. All right? We are doing the same kind of job with us. All right? Please cook for me at times. And this time she will now cook. She will give me something very nasty.
Okay.
Where do I go from there? And I'm the kind of person I'm vocal. Instead of me to tell you, why did you cook? I will raise my voice. This is nonsense. I rather go out and buy food. So apparently, I'm not for a man kissing his wife or saying nasty things. You know, it's not good. It's not manly at all. But however, like now I'm going home. I've decided to buy food on my way home because I cannot cook. So I try to make peace in the home myself. You know, to make peace. But the woman should also try. You understand? Don't be saying because you do in a woman world now, everybody should do your thing yourself. The other women that are ready to cook for men outside though, and you know what kopnomi means. I'm sure you know what kopnomi means.
So, would you like if she's coming home on her way, she also buy food and come home? You know, because you're like you said, you're both bankers and you're both facing Lagos traffic heading home, right?
Yes.
Why do you think that she's the one who has to do the cooking?
Like I said, I have also been cooking. All right. Initially, I was angry, but when I spoke with some family members or friends, okay, guys, just try to cook. You know, I'm also not lazy in cooking again. But at the time, I'm asthmatic, so I cannot face the heat of the kitchen too long. You know, fries and all that. I will get attacked. Yes. That will help myself too. I understand. But when my woman will go to the kitchen, she at the end of the day come out with something not palatable. You get, but it's quite difficult. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So she comes out with something not palatable on purpose, or she.
Trust me. If you ask me, I don't think she's a good cook. And she knows. Yes.
Okay, so she's not a good cook, and you don't like to cook often. What if you people hire somebody that does the cooking? You're both bankers. You can afford it.
Yeah, but that's why I try to balance it. I can't there are some people like it's better you hire. I'm still young, so I can't hire somebody quite old or quite young. You understand what I mean? Sure, you understand. So the best thing is fix myself up. I just try to manage things. It's difficult. This was going difficult for me, and thank God he's hitting me at that right spot. So I'm just going to go though. At times I bought that baggy kitchen cooking thing. Go to YouTube like you said earlier. But I pray for a miracle.
She's a miracle. Ayo, thank you for calling me. Thanks for sharing your story with me. I appreciate it. It's praying for miracle. I think there are pragmatic ways to solve a problem like that, to be honest. But I try not to give advice because each couple will figure it out by themselves. Mommy Twins from Ekpe says, I know of a family where all 4 children are male. All of them know how to cook, including pounded yam, soup, and ewedu. Mommy Twins from Ekpe, thank you so much for your message. We've got Edmund, who's listening from Denmark. And Edmund says he's been married since 7 years to a white lady and that he's been doing the cooking with pride. She doesn't like to cook even before we got married. I still practice the same thing when I travel home to Nigeria. It is not the job of a woman to cook. Edmund, thank you for sending your message in. Kuforiji Oluwaseyi says, Nigerian men are speaking from both sides of their mouth. Yesterday, they blamed the culture that said that men must provide. But today, they're saying it's cultural that women must be the one cooking. You're seeing it, Abby. You're seeing it. Oluwaseyi, thank you so much for listening. Good evening, Sandra. And about today's topic. As a married man, I say it's not the responsibility of my wife to cook. But the reason my wife has been doing the cooking is because I'm lazy about it. Any one of us that has the time should cook. Charles from Surulere says. Charles, thank you so much. Sandra, tell that girl that says that she won't marry a man if he can't cook, that I can bet many men don't want her too. We know her type. They want to sit down, lazy about, watch reality TV show while their man cooks. And what is so wrong with that, Kelechi? What is so wrong with that? The women are the ones cooking while the men sit down, lazy about, drink beer, and watch football. So why do you get to do it as a man and she cannot get to do it as a woman? I can hear you now dialing your phone to tell me why. Sandra, I must call you today. I must reach you on that line today. Do we have time to take one call? If that call can be 1 minute 30 seconds, we can take it. Do you promise that it will be 1 minute 30 seconds? Let's try. Hello. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, Auntie Sandra.
Frank, it will not be 1 minute 30 seconds.
Even if now 1 second, no problem.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
But my God that created this heaven and the earth without no pillar and stand. And this same God that walketh upon the sea and he did not sink will help me to bless that madam from first start. That madam Akibe. Because I know that it is a duty of a woman to cook in the house. But today, all these modern boys and girls is trying to turn things around. So I'm arguing the Bible. I know how to cook, and my father knows how to cook. My father taught me how to cook a goosey soup with the fresh fish and the tomatoes. Very sweet. It's not that as he cook it, that it is his own responsibility. No. My mother does the cooking. So women that want peace in their family, let them cook for their husband. And the other ones are arguing. Let them keep fighting. Let them keep fighting. Let other people that know the responsibility of the woman, please, anyone that is hearing my voice, do the necessary thing you do to your family.
We need to take a break, unfortunately, but I'll come back to that. Don't go away.
For bookings and more, visit our website today on www.flyairpeace.com.
Guy, what's in the make you scatter house like this, eh? I beg, you help me see my Airtel SIM. I carry and give Shade yesterday, but you know they use him again now.
Yay! You don't carry my bonus give landlord picking. Now today you go pack out.
On top Airtel SIM?
Yes, so.